Hi there and welcome to Michael Explains It All. I am your host, Michael O'Giblin. O'Gibbles, the OG. You can call me whatever you want. Just don't call me late for dinner. And today I'm reviewing the Fiddlerman Violin Strings. Now, you may be thinking, you might be kind of biased because don't you work for Fiddlershop? And yes, I do work for Fiddlershop, and these are our in-house strings. But look, I have got my own personal reputation on the line here too, so I'm not trying to sell you these like they are the greatest violin strings ever. They're not trying to be. They're not trying to be in compared to the Eva Perazzis and the Pies and the Vision Solo Titaniums. These are, I think, an incredible string for the price. So let's just get into it. I'm also gonna show you a lot of scientific recordings and all the harmonic frequencies and stuff and play them back to back with dominants and ascentes and some other strings to show you some back to back comparisons. So you're not just having to take my word for it. Anyways, so these are our synthetic core strings. They have a steel E, aluminum wound A and D, and a nickel wound G. They are made in Korea and we sell them here in our shop. We are based in Florida. I don't just live on the internet. Like I do live in Florida. Anyways, getting a little sidetracked. And I know this is Michael Explains It All, but you don't need to know where I live. Like that could be a little creepy. Anyways, so these are great strings. Basically, I can't really tell the difference between these and dominants. There's a great video on the product page where Pierre plays back to back to back. These with dominants. I'm going to do some other strings just so you have something else to compare them to. And I'm going to debut my new string scoring system. And I will say that I probably will regret implementing this system. So I'll just put a little disclaimer here that it's subject to change. I might not continue with it, but I think it's cool. And so far, I think we need something like this in the string grading community to wrap our head around sound and all these things that take me 12 minutes to explain in a video. I guess, hopefully I'm gonna try to keep this a little bit shorter. But let's get right into it, all right? Here we go. These are the Fiddlerman strings. I'm playing the Fiddlerman Artist Violin and the 2-star bow. Let's go through some of these criteria of judging sound that I've boxed myself into using. I will probably regret this again, but I'll walk you through some of what I'm thinking about this. Projection. I think these are basically right in the middle. They're not incredibly soft or loud. They're basically just a nice middle of the road set of strings. Although I do think the E string projects very well, and it's just on par with any other E string out there. Some of that is there's just not a lot of technology in E strings. It's just like... I mean, what else are you looking for in an E string? It's a piece of steel, basically. That's my sort of cynical view of it. Let's go through color. I think these are a little bit on the darker side than dominants, but not really by much. And some people might think that's different. Some people might say, oh no, I think they're brighter than dominants. So it's, again, depending on your violin, your perception, what you like to hear in a sound, what you think a violin should sound like. This is all going to be depending on, up to you. it has just a little bit of that like nice covered warmness to it. The depth is not really the deepest sound, I think. It's nice, but it's not this like booming huge sound. So not that I didn't score it that high on the depth of sound. Temperature, I also kind of call it, I do think it is warm. It's more warm than it is cold. I don't know how to. It's strange that I have temperature and depth of sound, and why are they not on the same side? So I don't know. There's still like something to that, like kind of sentimentality that is still there in that sound, even though it's not this profound depth of sound. Anyways, I'm gonna keep moving so I don't get stuck in the weeds here. Clarity, I think it has just a little bit of grit, a little bit of fuzziness, which is fine. It's not really crystal clear, which is fine. Sometimes people think of clarity as being like boring or sterile, or so I don't know. It's not necessarily that being clean is absolutely the most desirable thing. So I think it has has a nice little balance. It has a nice little bit of letting you know that it's there. Response, again, not really the fastest string that I've ever played. It's good. It's very nice, but it's just a little bit, I think, on the slow side. So now, what does that really mean? I just graded all these things on a scale, from 1 to 10 or whatever. But compared to what, I think, is the big question that I'm still wrestling with, and something to think about. Am I judging these strings? In a sense, I'm comparing them to all the violin strings in the world, that I've played so far in my life. And granted, I haven't played every violin string, so am I comparing these to $100 strings to $130 strings? Kind of, which is not really fair and not really something that these strings are trying to be in the same league as. I think the point that I want to get across is that these are great violin strings for being $30 strings, and something you should consider if you're definitely a beginner, an intermediate player, and of course, depending on how good your instrument is. Something that still baffles me is when people have like a $300, $400, or $500 violin, and they're putting $130 strings on their instrument. It's a little bit like putting Goodyear racing tires on your Ford Focus. Like, yes, it'll work. Yes, it's fine. Yes, you'll get tremendous grip and stuff. But why are you spending, a fifth of the price of your violin on strings? If you really want to make a bigger difference, just buy a better instrument, because the strings will make a difference, but they're not going to blow your mind in the difference between $30 strings and $100 strings. You can go to war with me in the comments, and I don't know. You take it with a grain of salt, basically. So don't kill me down here, okay? I do want to be your friend, and I do care what people think about me, after all. So I'm gonna play some of the comparisons back to back so you can hear the strings. well, that's what I have to say about the Fiddlerman violin strings. I would love to hear your thoughts if you have tried these strings and what you came from or what strings you went to after these and what you think. You can find these, of course, at fiddlershop.com. And we look forward to seeing you at the next Michael Explains It All. Thanks for watching. All right, everybody, I hope that was helpful. If you want to learn more and purchase this product, you can do so by clicking right up here. We would also love it if you subscribe to our channel so we can keep in touch. You can do that by clicking right over here. And if you want to learn more about Fiddlershop in general and everything we do, just click right over here. Do it. You can do it. Thanks so much, and we'll see you at fiddlershop.com.